Just 6 months into office, Argentina's Javier Milei is getting it done, turning around one of the world's longest-running socialist basket cases. He's slashed inflation by 4/5, the peso is finally stabilizing, and he's tamed a monster 5% budget deficit equivalent to nearly $2 trillion in U.S. terms into what is apparently an enduring budget surplus. As Wall Street Silver puts it, Milei is, quote, destroying left-wing socialist economic theory. As Fox News puts it, he's, quote, shutting up critics with a miracle turnaround. Even the IMF is now begrudgingly accepting that Milei is doing what he promised. First, the numbers. In the month Milei took office, Argentina was sporting an inflation rate of 25% per month. Now, just 6 months later, it's down to single digits, 8.8% and falling. Keep in mind these are monthly numbers, so annualized, that comes to a 5-fold reduction in inflation, down from the annualized 1,355% inflation the socialists had dumped on the living room carpets of long-suffering Argentines. Also keep in mind that was despite Milei slashing subsidies to public transportation, electricity, gas, and water in order to fix the budget deficit. That should have sent inflation soaring in the short run. Instead, he knocked it down by 80%. This has allowed Milei to cut interest rates from 126% when he took office to just 40%, which is higher than Jerome Powell, but pretty good progress for 6 months into one of the world's worst socialist basket case. The other big win has been on Argentina's monstrous budget deficit, which was a main driver of hyperinflation for going on decades. The problem is roughly 1 in 5 Argentinians work for the government. Well, maybe they don't work, but they collect salaries from the government. That's almost twice the proportion in countries like Mexico or Chile. And it's a big reason why it's been so hard to change Argentina. So if 20% of the population is collecting a government salary, your small government candidate doesn't need 51% of voters, he needs 71%. Nonetheless, voters were sick of it, and Milei delivered. He slashed public sector wages, suspended make-work government projects, as well as cutting those subsidies so markets can actually function and invest again. He paired the cuts with deregulation and sclerotic markets, above all housing, that boosted private sector growth to cushion some of the cuts in government spending. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. Milei and his economy minister Caputo freely admit the work's just beginning. Inflation, spending, and regulation are all still suffocating Argentina while the opposition controls Congress and will do everything they can to stop or sabotage reforms. When Milei first came to office, I ventured that his prospects would depend on winning over regular Argentinians. After all, if you get 60 or 70% approval, even a hostile opposition goes along out of self-preservation. That means the most important thing near-term is getting wages rising faster than inflation to bring down sky-high poverty rates. Beyond inflation, that means getting off the back of especially small business, so deregulation and even tax cuts. If Milei can do this, he'll get enough political momentum to push his core labor and monetary reforms that would fundamentally transform Argentina. Either way, millions of us will be cheering him on. Read the rest of the article with charts and all the gory details at profsananj.com. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.